really take care of it. So today, I just wanted to share this moment with you. For those of you who want to meditate, I will share with you my mantras for today. Some people say you shouldn't ever share your mantra, that it breaks the bond or something, but I'm just sort of non-traditional. Can you see me? And we're going to get started. And you may hear a bell. Ourselves being calmer and calmer every day. I really believe the world will be calmer and calmer every day, because we really are all just one body, all connected together. I love you, and I'm getting better every single day, little by little.
I don't think I have meditated. Oof. My voice is gone. I don't think I've meditated for that long in a really long time. And not outside either. I usually am in my room enclosed, but today I really felt like being outside and like I needed to feel the wind and hear the birds. And obviously there are other noises, like a few cars have gone by and there's construction on the other side of my buildings, but I was pretty good at being able to block it out, or release the thoughts as soon as they came. And that's really important, because sometimes I feel like we go away to a quiet, safe space too much, and it becomes harder to close your mind off when you can't meditate in a quiet, space. So I am actually really happy I chose to meditate outside today. I wanted to share that with you guys because I think meditation is really important. I think it's good to show somebody like me. I'm still a novice, at it, that if I can quiet my mind and focus for, 20 minutes, and that when thoughts do come in, I rid of them, that you can do it too. And I mean, obviously I shared it too because I absolutely adore Lady Gaga, but I just felt like the message she was bringing for today was really important, and the idea of meditating today was really important. So I really wanted to share that. Now, what else I'm going to video, because I'm kind of just taking a day for myself. Alright, I hope that that's a good angle or whatever. I don't know. But I decided maybe I should talk about my weekend just a little bit, just something to touch on. So the weekend was a little difficult for me just because, we are now at 28 days something until my wedding, which is really exciting. But it's also stressful, and I wanted to go down to Tucson because Saturday was my mother's birthday, so I headed down to see my family and spend a little over 24 hours with them. It was a good time, but it was also a little heavy on me because the second I got there, I felt just very overwhelmed and a lot more pressure than I was feeling when I was at home. Not about wedding things per se, but just family stuff. Sometimes some of my family members can be a bit negative, I guess is the word. I don't really know what else to call it. They can be a bit negative. And as I was saying earlier, I am an emotional person, and that can be kind of heavy for me to deal with so much. And it seemed like it was kind of just non-stop of dealing with like negativity, and I completely understand and think everybody has the right to express themselves and complain about whatever they feel necessary, get it off of their chest, but there's a fine line, between expressing your disappointment or things that are going on in your life, as opposed to just, I guess I'll give some examples, would be riding in the car and somebody cuts you off, or somebody makes like a weird, driving mistake or something that like upsets you. And I understand we all react. I react as well. I'm not a saint, but I don't believe in obviously staying upset about that moment for a long time. I try and cut myself and check myself very quickly when I do get too upset about it and move on. But the people I was with couldn't do that. They go on about it for the next 5-10 minutes. The person's no longer on the road with you or anything, and it's just like beating you over the head with such like anger about something that has passed, such a fleeting moment. And there's just lots of instances like that, you know. I don't see them very often. The last time, other than this past weekend, I'd saw them was already a month ago. And so it's just very hard for me when I don't see someone very often for their energy to be very draining for me. And I don't know how to deal. I don't know how to react. You know, I try and be positive and jokingly and very lightheartedly throw out positive, like, things like, oh, just forget about it, it's okay, or this or that. And I feel a lot of resistance to that. And the more I try and do that, the worse of a reaction I get. The more the reaction seems negative, and the more they keep pushing to be negative. I guess the old saying of misery loves company rings true with negative people. And I've expressed to my family a lot about how last year I struggled really bad with depression and really bad with my anxiety and stuff, and so that this year I just don't want to give in to those things. I acknowledge when I have bad days and I allow myself to feel them. Like today I'm kind of in a very solemn, quiet moment, and I acknowledge that and I experience the feelings, but I never try to bring anyone down with me, and I never want to just perpetuate like a negative energy around me. And given like our last election, the heat that it brought and the just separation that it brought, I have just really learned to pull myself back from situations and things that I see. Try not to like let it run me or rule me. And I feel like some of my family unfortunately can't do that. And I notice they bring up things and I'm like, I agree with you. And I try and do this a lot with political issues, all of that we have. Even if I am on the different side of the fence than you, I've been very open-minded and trying to understand why the other person feels the way they do, why the other person feels the need to do what they do, etc. And I try to come at everything with an understanding. I'm not perfect. There are times where I'm still scratching my head and like I just don't get why they feel that way or what their motive is there, but I try to at least understand it. And when I express those things to some of my family members, that like, oh, you know, I agree with you on this, but I was talking to somebody who was on that side of the fence and I kind of got their point of view and how they feel, you know, and it was just different to hear it from them. I noticed it kind of angers some of my family members that I would even, I guess, entertain the other side as if they're sides, and they end up pushing it more and more on me as though I am now the enemy. And they go and go, and then I shut down and I stop talking, and they continue for probably another 20 minutes, and then I'm just so heavy with it and done, and then they finally stop when they realize I'm no longer engaging. But the fact that it has to get to that point blows my mind. And these are some of, like, you know, my elders and people that should be happy that I'm having such a constructive thought process and way of trying to learn and understand my peers and people of the world, other people with different viewpoints than me, but there isn't that kind of reaction at all. And it's even crazy when I say I agree with you or I understand you. You know, I just wanted to explain maybe more of what I've heard from the other side, and they don't like it at all. And so it just makes it really hard, and so I try to not engage. That seems to make it worse and more heavy and attacking on me. And so I'm just kind of, I went to Tucson looking to relax and just enjoy time again, and being very heavy, and I could not wait to come back home to my sanctuary. And I don't know what to do, because even I did try and talk about it, about the negativity that I was feeling while I was there, and I was completely shot down and told that I couldn't come home and expect utopia. So I don't know, it's just crazy. So I had a very heavy weekend, a heavy night, And so today I am just happy to have meditated, relaxed, and kind of refocused my energy. And I'm feeling a lot more lighthearted and a lot more at peace. And I don't know if any of you have ever dealt with things like this. Have any advice, please, I am all ears. Please leave it down below.